Overlook Horizon High Altitude Balloons,
an Ontario County nonprofit.
This is no ordinary balloon.
What a view!
Over 110,000 feet.
This is incredible.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
Hey guys, Tori here from Overlook Horizon, coming to you live here from Academy in Canandaigua, New York, for the launch of Overlook Horizon 11 today, nicknamed Mist. Hopefully things are gonna go well today. It's not the greatest of days for launching a weather balloon. I mean, any kind of weather is nice for launching a weather balloon, but or I guess as far as scientifically speaking, but as far as operationally speaking, it hasn't been a great day. But hopefully we're going to be in good shape for this launch here, because we are set up here. We're in a pretty protected area from the wind, so it's been a little bit breezy all morning and early afternoon while we were getting everything set up, and so it's been it was interesting, wondering if we were actually going to see high winds, or if we were going to actually be able to get a spot that was protected from the wind a little bit. But we are protected pretty well here, actually. The anemometer that I got, which is this guy here over my shoulder, this guy, so it's reading like 0 to 1 mile per hour winds, which is great considering the average actual wind speed is about 15 miles per hour today. So so things are going well so far. We were also experiencing rain, snow earlier. It was not a good situation to be launching a weather balloon in. I thought I was going to get drenched for the day, so I didn't think we were going to. I thought we were going to be miserable today trying to get this balloon up, but it's actually turning out to be pretty nice. And the clouds have been pretty overcast, which is tough for imagery for our onboard cameras. We do have 2 onboard cameras today. The overcast clouds usually are a little bit tough for the cameras, because a lot of times you get above the clouds and it just washes out the image. But I've been hopeful because we've seen some breaks in the cloud, even got the sun to peek out a little bit earlier today. So hopefully we can actually get some decent photos and videos today. So let's see, Gregorius, hey, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Did you hear anything from Shrimpy? Nope, have not heard anything about Shrimpy yet. So it's still, Shrimpy is still lost in the wilderness. We have not heard anything. It does have a label on it. We're hoping that maybe we can get it back someday, but we are testing our micro payload again today, but that's not the primary payload. So our primary payload is our big, large payload, which actually is right next to me here. I can even, if I'm very careful, I can show it to you. Well, actually, here, let me take my hat off the top of it. Let's do this very carefully here. There it is. So here's our big payload that we'll be launching today. It's got some GPS antenna on the top. There's some alarms on the outside. Cameras, if I can show a camera peeking out the side. There's 2 cameras there. It's hooked up right now to power, so I can't pull it too far. I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek. And also our micro payload is also mounted on the outside to kind of simulate the last flight that we had previously. We're going to try to simulate the same conditions and see if we can get some more data to find out what may have gone wrong with Shrimpy. So no, we don't have any. Haven't heard anything from Shrimpy. Shrimpy will fly in May. No, Shrimpy. Yeah, Shrimpy was the last one. That was Overlook Horizon 10 that we launched in March. The one that Streaky's probably thinking of is our Space Lobster that's going to fly hopefully in May, is when we get the Space Lobster up on board one of our flights. So that Space Lobster's not happening today. Today is just going to be, we've got our regular made large tracking system, whole bunch of sensors for temperature, humidity, pressure, couple of temperature sensors actually. We got inboard temperatures and outboard temperature sensors. Same thing with humidity. We got inboard and outboard for humidity. And let's see what, and cameras this time. So this is the first flight of this year that's actually got cameras on board. Overlook Horizon 10, no cameras on board. That was just our micro payload. So this one will actually have 2 cameras on board, one facing out each side. No upward facing camera today. No camera facing the balloon. Unfortunately, we sacrificed that camera to put the micro payload on board so we could test that. But likely the next flight we have, we'll have a camera facing up at the balloon as well. But today, just 2 sideways facing cameras, nothing facing up at the balloon today. So, so that's what we're looking at today. As far as if you never watched one of these launches before, as far as what we're going to do and what's happening for the day, balloon filling is going to happen right here over in that tarp area. Hopefully I can get you some sort of view of that. My remote, usually I have a second camera that does remote, but it's refusing to cooperate. It didn't cooperate on the last flight, it didn't cooperate on this flight either, so we're going to have to sort that out so I can get a second camera that's a little bit closer so you can actually see what's going on. But you will see it from here. And then the balloon launch is going to happen like this direction. Winds today are going straight out this way, so we launched a test canary balloon earlier today, and the test canary balloon headed pretty much directly this way. And so it's pretty protected, so it goes up for about 20 feet, and then you can't see it, but behind the camera here is some fencing and some trees. As soon as it gets above that fencing and tree line, it just took off like horizontal. So hopefully we get some actual rise out of it. That was only just a little tiny party balloon, so that's a little more affected by the gusty winds than our weather balloon is. That one should have no problem actually climbing. The party balloon was having a hard time actually climbing, and actually descended at one point briefly. We don't want to see that with the weather balloon today. So so in terms of what we're looking at flight wise, couple things that we can show you here before I get into that. So timeline, just so you know what's happening. Make Homer something something. Happy launch. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I think I've seen your username before, and I think the username is Make Homer something something. Every time I read it, I think Make Homer is a username, and then I read something something happy launching. I'm like, what does that mean? Something something. Anyways, random thought for the day. But so timeline wise, we're at T-minus 1 hour and 2 minutes, just under 1 hour 3 minutes actually. But so what we're looking at today, balloon filling is going to start at T-minus 55 minutes. We get the balloon filled and inflated. That takes about 15-20 minutes to get that up and running. We give ourselves about 25 minutes. If we're good at it and the winds are cooperative, we can actually probably do it in about 10 to 15 minutes. We're getting pretty good at that now. But we give ourselves about 25 minutes for balloon filling. Usually, if things go well, we'll fill the balloon, I'll come back, I'll chat with you. That'll be at about the T-minus 45 minute mark. We'll chat a little more, get to some of your questions. And then at T-minus 30, we start getting some of the electronics on board. T-minus 20 is where it really starts to get busy. That's when we get our flight computers on board, our backup systems are getting powered on. Then at T-minus 15, we're notifying the FAA and air traffic controllers. Then we count down at T-minus 10 is when the cameras are booting up, making sure everything's working. And then from there, it's final checks, making sure everything is continuing. And then hopefully T-minus 0 today is going to be 3 o'clock on the dot. We'll get it up in the air. We're looking at about a 2 hour and 45 minute flight today. So we're talking landing at about 5:45 today. That landing is going to happen to the west of the Cortland area. So if you're familiar with upstate New York, here's a look at what our flight path is for today. So as soon as we take off here, we're going to head in a southeasterly direction here, which is this way. And then it's only going to go southeast for a brief moment, and it's going to make a turn and head towards the south for most of the beginning portion of the flight. Then we hit some wind shear and a pretty drastic 90-degree turn. If you watch some of the flights before, I love those drastic turns, those 90-degree turns, or even sometimes they do a whole 180, come back the other direction. It's just a little more interesting to me than if it just goes up and goes one direction. So we actually got we got kind of a S or Z pattern depending on, or two, whatever, which direction you're looking at it. Yeah, we head south. We're going to take a big drastic 90-degree turn and head east, maybe like east-northeast. And then we're going to have balloon burst. Today we're looking at probably 110 to 112,000 feet is what we're looking at. So we do have potential today to break our maximum altitude record. So our maximum altitude record is 112,506 feet. That happened on Overlook Horizon 9. That was our solar eclipse flight. We've got the potential to break that record today. We're using the exact same size balloon, and to our benefit for that maximum altitude record, the payload is a little bit lighter today. Usually lighter payload means we can put less helium in the balloon, which means it will go a little bit higher because the balloon has less gas pushing out, so it can actually expand a little bit more. So potentially we could break our maximum altitude record today for this flight. Sorry, it's a little bit cold out here. So let's see. I see a whole bunch of people commenting. A lot of people that I've seen before. Let's see, Leia, or I gotta figure out if it's Leia or Leah. I definitely see all your comments all the time, but I think it's Leia. But I could be wrong. Tori, your launches are way better than Jeff Bezos. Yeah, we had Blue Origin launching today, so hopefully you guys got to see. I think they launched. I haven't really been able to follow it that closely today because I've been here all day getting ready for this. So unfortunately, I thought about calling up Jeff Bezos, say, hey, what's the deal? We were scheduled first here. You scheduled your rocket launch right over the top of our weather balloon launch. So yeah, I think everybody watched that, hopefully. But it was pretty exciting. I would like to see. I'm sure I'm going to watch the videos later, or maybe even when we're on the chase, I might take a look at some of them. So, but hopefully you got to see it. I think they launched. I know Gregorius said Blue Origin launch is a hold fiesta. I know. Yeah, I know they had a whole bunch of holds today. So somebody's got to let me know if they actually launched. Let's see. No beer, no TV, make Homer something something. Ah, got it. I got the reference now. I didn't know what that was, but now I got it. I like that. Let's see, Arnis, telemetry, RTTY or APRS. So our payload has the capability to do both, but we're not doing RTTY today. We're doing just APRS. At some point, our first couple of flights on Overlook Horizon 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. I don't know if we did it on 4, but definitely on 1, 2, and 3, we did both APRS and RTTY. Since then, the capability is still in the software to do RTTY, but we've basically commented it out, and we're just sticking with APRS for now. So APRS, you can track the flight live yourself. overlookhorizon.com/map, and that'll let you track it when we get to that point. Let's see, will the site be far with the overcast sky? Well, once we get above the clouds, we'll have tons of view. But the question is, are we going to be able to see anything, or are we just looking at cloud tops? That I don't know. We'll get a little bit of a view. I'm not sure what the ceiling is of these clouds, meaning like the base level, the bottom level of the clouds. So we probably get a little bit of a view on the way up, and then we'll go through some clouds, obviously, and then we'll see whatever we see once we get above the clouds. It'll be a surprise for all of us. Let's see, metric for your worldwide viewers. I know, Mark, I get a lot of people that yell at me about the metric. I just didn't grow up on metric, so I can't do the conversions that quickly on metric. I think 112,000 feet is somewhere around like 34,000 meters. Does that sound right? Somebody's got to do the Google conversion for me. I'm just not good enough with it. When I'm sitting in front of a computer, I try to do all the conversions to metric and UTC time and stuff like that. But when I'm here live and on the fly, I just can't do it fast enough. I just didn't grow up with the metric. So let's see, Gregorius, they launched. Both tests was a success. Both reused core and capsule landed safely. Awesome. That's the Blue Origin stuff he's talking about. So they did launch today. So that's good. I thought I had heard they launched, but I was just kind of loosely following updates on my phone. So, hi there from Israel. How much does it cost to refill the helium tank that you use? We use a pretty big helium tank. It's about $150 US to fill, but that gets us through somewhere between 1 and 3 launches. So usually we have 2 helium tanks, if you can tell in the picture here. And we're going to use up the rest of one, and we'll switch over to the other one, which is full, brand new. So usually one tank gets us 2 to 3 launches out of it. So anyways, all right, one more thing, and then we got to go start filling the balloon, because that happens here at T-minus 55. But just to give you an idea, this is kind of the zone of uncertainty, the margin of error here for our landing. So our landing site is generally, most of the time, we're plus or minus about 5 or 6 miles. Again, I don't know the metric for that, but about 5 or 6 miles that were plus or minus when we look at that singular path that I was showing earlier. Like, this is a singular prediction path. We run multiple predictions, but this is just easier to see the shape of the flight today. Likely not going to follow that exactly. It will follow it roughly, and then our zone of uncertainty is kind of here. I don't think we've ever landed in the red, which is surprising, because you'd think that would be the place to that we'd be landing, the most certain. Most of the time on the heat maps that we generate, for whatever reason, we land on the the furthest side of the red, usually in the yellow, sometimes on the edges of the green. So I expect landing, if you're looking at this map, or at least if I'm looking at it, it'd be on the right-hand side. So on the side closest to my camera view here. So the right-hand side will likely land to the right-hand side of that red patch there. So there we go. We're going to start filling the balloon here now, so we're under T-minus 55. I got a little bit of an intro video. Most of the time this is a little more professionally done. I didn't have time to do an actual professional one, so we are going to have this one. We'll cut you to this one here, which I made real quick today. It's only about 1.5 minutes long, and then when we come back, you'll see us over there. I'm going to come off the microphone. I'll have a microphone connected so you can at least hear what's going on, hear our operations and our radio operations. And you'll see us filling the balloon here. So we'll be back. This is about 1.5 minutes, quick intro video to give you an overview of the flight, and then we'll be filling the balloon when we come back. So we'll see you guys in about 1.5 minutes here. All right. Hey guys, Tori here from Overlook Horizon. It's flight day for our second flight of 2018, Overlook Horizon 11, nickname Mist. The name Mist for this flight represents today's primary objective, which is testing our main large computer system that has a new humidity sensor. This new humidity sensor will allow us to generate professional sounding files just like the National Weather Service does for all of their weather balloon flights. In addition to that, this flight will run very similar to previous flights that we ran all last year. We're going to have 2 onboard cameras, one facing out each side. We will not have an upward facing camera that faces the balloon this time. Instead, we're incorporating our new micro payload on the outside of this payload box so that we can do some further testing on that after our last flight. If you followed along last time, Overlook Horizon 10 failed shortly after the balloon burst with that micro payload. So now we're going to test that again and see if we can get some additional data. It's a bit cold and it's been raining and snowing here all day, and it's also pretty breezy, so this could be a pretty tough launch today. This flight will be using a 1,500 gram balloon, which is the largest balloon in our arsenal. Same size that we used on the solar eclipse last August. With that size balloon, we expect to hit an altitude of over 110,000 feet today and hopefully get some good pictures. We do have a lot of overcast clouds today, which a lot of times washes out our photos and videos, but the sun has been peeking through every now and then, so I'm hopeful we can actually get some decent imagery for this flight. So that's what's happening today. It's a pretty straightforward flight, but we're hoping it goes off without a hitch. Let us know what questions you have or what you think about today's flight in the comment section down below. Now, let's head back to the launch site, which is right there. Hopefully to see a successful launch today for Overlook Horizon 11, Mist. All right, hey everybody. Actually, I just realized I didn't plug in the microphone that whole time. Sorry about that. No audio. Yeah, I just realized when I went to go plug my microphone in, I realized I didn't plug in the other microphone. Sorry. I will make sure to actually plug that in next time. So, all right, well, that took us a little longer than it normally does. We're still in good shape for the actual launch here, though. We just don't have a lot of extra time. Sorry, we're checking our checklist here. Did that, we did that, we did that. We gotta do this. We did that. We did that. Yeah, so we are getting ready here. All right, so I don't have a lot. I only got 1 minute here, so yeah, sorry, audio's back. Yeah, so apologize about that. I forgot to plug in the other microphone. I got two microphones here. One's clipped to me. One is like the ambient microphone. I forgot to plug that in. Sorry. It's a little bit breezier than I thought it would be, but we're still okay. It's not crazy, uncontrollable, but Jeff's doing a great job of keeping it together out there. Kinda. We're doing the best we can here. So T-minus 30, we are starting up with a couple more things. Some electronics are coming on board. Actually, some of that I can do right here while we're at. All right, so we're about 2 to 4 miles per hour, which isn't too bad. Let's see. All right, so our micro payload's coming on here now. I'm actually going to stay connected while I go through all of this because it's all right here, so I should be able to stay on the microphone. So micro payload is going to get powered on. We got some lights. Looks like we got power. We're just waiting on a GPS signal. So that looks okay. We'll let that hang out for a little while. All right. So we got 29 minutes. We're in good shape here. We're getting the backup GPS system powered on here now. So we actually got two backups. We're getting double redundancy here. So hopefully that means we're gonna be able to find this guy. All right, we're gonna let that thing power on there. In the meantime, let's see what else we got. Oh, I saw. Oh boy, hold on. I did see. Now it went away. Saw somebody commenting on the Facebook video. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, the winds are starting to pick up here now. Of course, it wasn't like this here. Carry up and away. Yeah, good to see. Oh man, not working. Come on now. Audio problem. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to plug in the microphone. Is the battery heated this time? We are not heating the outside batteries this time. Our main tracking computer is protected, thermally protected inside our payload box. So our main computer should perform just fine with that system. The micro payload that is on the outside, those batteries are not thermally protected, although there is an extra temperature sensor on the batteries. So I'm actually measuring the actual temperature on the surface of the batteries, trying to see what the evaporative change is, and hopefully I should be able to pick that up and see that either during the flight or after the flight. So that's the plan. So we're kind of just flying the payload like it's pretty much the same that it flew on Shrimpy on Overlook Horizon 10. Didn't make many changes other than that extra temperature thing. So yeah, somebody on Facebook. Glorious day for launching. I'm enjoying from my dry, warm office so far. Yeah, it's dry here, which is good. It's not warm. It's better than it was when I first got here, but it's not warm. So all right, let's see. I gotta come around the side, see if the lights are blinking on here. Oh yeah, perfect. So the micro payload is running. Let's get the backup GPS system running. For those that don't know, I don't know if you can hear it that well, there is a little bit of a radio chirp in the background there. It sounds like, that is our tracking system that is chirping. And so we've actually got 2 of those now, so they're more frequent because we've got the main computer and the backup computer. Both are chirping their positions. And then let's see, our backup GPS looks like it's in good shape. Yeah, perfect. There we go. 100% battery, position accuracy. Yeah, perfect. All right, so we're going to let that hang out for a little bit. We'll make sure that stays up and running. It's not time for cameras yet, but all right. So, sorry, I'm going through our checklist here. Alex Ziggyful just got here. Hashtag Space Lobster. Okay to go. Looks like. Yep, we're in good shape. Balloons filled, and that usually means we're gonna at least try for it. So let's see. What was I doing here? Oh yeah, we're gonna make sure. I want to make sure that both trackers are up and running successfully. Yeah. Oh wow, micro payload's got 10 satellites already. That's pretty unusual. Most of the time we struggle to get satellites with that micro payload, but we're up to 10 satellites. 49 degrees is that's right on the money for what we're at here. We're at 49 degrees, which is not too bad. Humidity is at 43% right now. Yeah, we're looking good. We're in good shape. Batteries are at 3 volts, which is what we expect them to be at. For the micro payload, we actually, if you follow the last payload, actually had an error on the battery measurements. So, what APRS call sign are you flying? It's KD2KPZ, Kilo Delta 2 Kilo Papa Zulu, and it's if you're following on the APRS the website, or if you're getting the radio signals, it's on -11, and also the second tracker is -12. So we got -11 and -12. If you don't know how to get to the APRS to track it live, you can go to overlookhorizon.com/map and track it for yourself as well. So, so we're in good shape here. We're counting down. It seems like it's going fast today, but we're okay so far. Yeah, let's see here. Just trying to make sure this backup GPS system is. It still says we're in good shape here. All right, here. We'll make sure the display's off. It's good to go. All right, we're putting in the payload antenna. Get this guy in there. That's our big main antenna. That's going in. Actually, I don't know if I can do that yet because I can't set it on the table if it's like that. We're gonna wait a second for that. We're switching to battery power here. All the best, Overlook Horizon 11. My whole family's watching you. Awesome. Yeah, my arrow moved. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. We're hoping for a good flight today. I'm gonna try to see if we can get you a good camera shot here. Might have one of my lovely assistants here try to film it as we actually launch. So just making sure that's ready to go. So we are going to switch. The main tracking computer is going to go to battery power here, in just a moment. You're going to hear a whole bunch of tones. It's going to get real annoying sounding here in a second, but it should only last for a minute. And then that should subside. So I think we're just make sure we're ready. Yeah. All right, here. All right, sorry, we're having an offline conversation. Let's see, moderator, can you post where you get the tracking map? Well, I don't have a moderator. Moderator is me. But here you go. Overlook horizon.com/map. Live tracking here. Bingo. How's that? There you go. There's it's me. It's just me moderating. Me and the Nightbot, but Nightbot is not a human. All right, here we yeah, so we're at T-minus 20. Time to power up the main computer here. Sorry, I'm like breathing into the microphone. I'm trying to getting the antenna connected. Make sure it's secured. Here comes the power on tones. There we go. Oh, look at that. It got GPS just like that. That's awesome. Probably because it was a warm start since it was running, so that's good. Gregorius, can I has mod? Sure, yeah, we can make it. I see Gregorius here all the time. I can make you a moderator. I probably can't right this second, but ask me again, and when we do the next SpaceX launch, we can give you mod status. All right, yeah. So that's up and running. That's on. We just got to power on the cameras. That's going to happen here. That's at T-minus 15. We could probably do it a touch bit early here. You just make sure we're still getting signal. Can you hold this for a second? This is just going to tip over. Just keep it from tipping over. All right. You're back at. I'm going to switch audio here for a second. I just got to turn on some other cameras here.
I can fix quickly on the box or no?
Skies. Look at that. Thank you. I got that. We got some blue skies out there. How about that? We might actually get some decent images. Watch that leg there. So that's good. Oh, I got it. We gotta notify the FAA. Actually, you gotta hold this again. I gotta make my phone calls. All right, this one I am gonna intentionally remove the audio just so you're not listening to my phone call with the FAA. So it's gonna be muted for just a second here. Okay, well that took a little longer than usual. A little confusion at the FAA, at least the local one. They couldn't find my document. They found it. We're all good. Everything's fine. So, but they couldn't find it at first, and now I'm just verifying that both cameras are running. So we are good. Cameras are there. Still got signal. We're gonna close up the hatch here, and then we're getting ready to hook up. Getting ready to hook up here. So I'm probably gonna need your assistance holding this.
For the quadcopter? Or you want me to help you?
Just wait until I
Okay.
load this up here. Hold that so it doesn't tip, and watch the thing in the front there. This guy's what I'm talking about.
Oh. That's your new board?
Yeah, that's the little mini one.
Why is it outside?
Because that's how it will fly when it flies by itself.
Oh, so it's a test?
Yeah.
Testing. You also have one inside?
Yep.
Is this box like unusually heavy?
Nope, it's actually lighter than usual because we don't have the extra camera facing the balloon and the batteries that go with all that. So a little bit lighter than usual. Sorry, I know we're having a conversation here. I know you guys can all hear me on the microphone. But you guys, it's of interest, right? Oh, I'll go for a second. That's gotta go in there. There we go. When we actually launch, if you would, maybe grab that camera that's up on the monitor there and just hold it outside the tent so they can actually see it, if you don't mind.
How's it attached up there? Easy to get off?
What's that?
Easy to get off up there?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it's just set on top of there. Except I just did this out of order. We forgot to actually tape it closed here. We gotta put the tape on before we put the strings on. What are we at? 10 minutes. We're still in good shape here. Make sure we don't cover the camera. Just going to get this closed here. We just use regular packing tape for that. Actually holds up surprisingly well in the really cold temperatures. Nothing special about the packing tape. Alright, that's all set. Now we're doing strings. Careful, I'm going to keep it here. Eight minutes we're at here.
T-8.
Grab those strings down on the ground there. Got it. Got the box?
Yep. Fish. It's like fishing.
Yep, little fishing hooks. That's all they are.
Surprised they hold up.
Yeah, they're pretty strong. Make sure these don't get caught. There we go. Alright, hold that right there for now. Make sure this is relatively straight. It's the micro payload antenna. The other antenna's out. We got two antennae here. Alright. Am I still connected? Hopefully you still hear me. I think you guys still hear me. Alright. Okay. All right, I probably can't read. I know you got a bunch of comments. We'll stick around here after lunch, but we're getting pretty close. We're at 7 minutes here, so I want to make sure we get everything buttoned up here. So we did all that. We did that. We did that. We're good. We're secured. We're ready to release that. We're ready to put the quadcopter up. All right, we're pretty much ready to launch here. So I'm gonna take the box in just a minute. I'm gonna switch you guys over to the other microphone here. There, hopefully that one's okay. Let's see. We don't have any comms here coming out of this. We got a mic check. You guys hear me? This one isn't working. All right. Here, set this over here so you guys can hear what's going on. All right. Oh, there we go. A little feedback, so sorry for that. Get that sorted out here. All right, so we'll leave it at there. You're going to give us a countdown. We're at 5 minutes. I'm going to walk the balloon up. Jeff's going to move the quadcopter. Be good to go. Check our signals again. What do we have? 5 minutes out. All right, we're getting there. We hear you, Space Lobster. I know we're on the other microphone now, so it's not quite as nice. 14:54. Yeah, so that was just a minute ago. So that is still up and running. Well, we got the FAA calling here. One moment. Hello, this is Ford. Hi, how are you? Yep, yeah, we got one too. Yep. Yeah, if you go to OLHZN-11.com/map. Horizon with an H. //map. It's going to show two balloons, but it's the same balloon. It's just got trees moving on it. Yeah, it's going to go south-southeast, head down towards Sure, if you have an email, as soon as we launch here, I can forward you the details about it. Okay, yeah, we're launching in like 2.5 minutes, so as soon as we launch, I'll get on my email and I'll just forward you the same thing I sent over to Brian. Okay, sure thing. Thanks very much. All right, bye. Okay, we're launching.
a signal check. Go for launch. 10.
0.
10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Launch. Definitely have some wind issues with this gust. And we are good for launch. All right, that was a tough one. All looks good though.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Bit of a cluster.
Well, we missed the launch time by a couple minutes, but let's make sure we're... Hello. Okay. We're back. I'm back. All right. Balloons are still tracking, so that's a good sign. I'm exhausted. Yeah, the winds were tough. Almost broke my finger off. It actually cut me. Where is it? All right. Let me hook back up. Okay. Yeah,
This launch.
yeah, we had a little bit of FAA confusion, which kind of
Hold on that. Should have been.
yeah, kind of delayed our launch time, because they couldn't find our paperwork, and he said he was all right. He said he had our paperwork, and And I got to send it to him again in a minute, but he was good. We were good for that. So we are up there. I don't know if you can see it. It is up that direction, way up there by the clouds.
I don't see it anymore. I think it went through the cloud.
No, it's there to the left of that,
Oh, yeah.
the blue opening there. There it is. So it's up there. Sorry, now I'm just holding the camera. Oh, now I'm sweating. That was there's a really long line between the balloon and the parachute. Yeah, we're about, so we have a 50-foot long, 50-foot total train. It's 35 feet from the balloon to the parachute, and then from the parachute to the box is about, it's a little less than 15 feet because you got the length of, there's the length of the parachute there, and then the actual box itself. So total from the balloon to the box is 50 feet, but the longest is definitely between the balloon and the parachute, and that's mostly because the balloon burst event is really, really violent. So when that balloon bursts, we want to dissipate as much of that energy as possible so it doesn't completely disrupt the payload box, and also so it doesn't get tangled in the parachute and things like that. A lot of people do these balloon launches, and it works out fine for a lot of people. It just makes me too nervous when the parachute is right up next to the balloon, because when that balloon bursts, super violent. Most violent event of the flight. Second place is the landing, but that's what we're looking at here. Let's see. All right, we can get you. Where's my map here? Let's get you to a map. Check out where we're at here, because it is up into the clouds here now. So there we go. So there. Oh, that's not the one I want. We want the big full screen one. Here we go. That's full screen. Oh, it's went off screen. Can we fix that? Let's see. Hold on. I'm fixing it. Stay with me here. We're gonna get rid of all this stuff and do this. Let's see if that works out better. No, that still doesn't work out. Okay, how about this? Try it this way. Yeah, that's better. There's where we are right now. There's our balloon. There's actually, I can probably even show, let's do it this way. There's actually 2 transmitters on board, so if I pull up both, you should see 2 transmitters there. Although it seems like one is not transmitting anymore. That would be a shame. But the main one is still, looks like it's still transmitting. Yeah, that's still going well. So that's where we stand. Let me look at, I gotta look on my phone here. Oh man, that launch was not easy. My fingers are still killing me from that string that we use. I had it wrapped around my finger so it didn't get away. And oh, it still looks like it's still working. The secondary tracker. 15:05, so that was 1 minute ago. So we'll keep an eye on it here for just a second. We'll make sure it transmits again. I mean, one of the things that we could run into here, now that we have 2 transmitters on the same frequency, is they may try to transmit at the same time, which would kind of muddy the waters a little bit. But they have random intervals. They're like, you know, roughly, it's different intervals at different times. So like at landing, gets more frequent, so we can find the exact landing spot. At launch, it's more frequent, so I can make sure it works. And then as it gets up in the atmosphere, there are longer periods of time between transmissions. But you know, let's say it's a minute between transmissions. It's not always exactly a minute. It's a random number that's somewhere between 45 seconds and 15 seconds, let's say. That's not exact, but it ranges. It can go all the way up to 90 seconds, but it's a random number in there, so that way, if for some reason both payloads get in sync with each other and start broadcasting at the same time, the next time around they'll change it up and go with a different interval. So all right, so okay, let me see if I can get to some of these comments here. Let's see, we can get the timer get the timer off. We missed the actual T-minus 0 from the FAA was calling. I was not prepared for that. They want a 15-minute notification. I'd like to give them like a 30-minute notification, but they want 15 minutes. But that becomes a problem if they call back and they need more information. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to see everybody here. Man, pretty bad wind speed here. Yeah, it was definitely so we're in this little cove here, which was protecting us from the winds. As soon as I got out there, it was getting crazy. And I don't know if you saw it on video, but I had to sprint so that I could get under the balloon and let it go. Because if I would have just let it go, it would have swung like a pendulum and hit the ground. Done that before, know that from experience. It's not good, but had to run, and then when I let it go, it wobbled like crazy. Usually I try to let it go a little more smoothly, but yeah, that wasn't my best launch. So let's see, why is there a really long line between? Oh yeah, so we addressed that one, so we don't tangle in the parachute, so we can dissipate some of the energy. That's why we do the really long line, because that, like I said, that balloon burst is very, very, very violent. Let's see, we've had more issues when that longer payload string. Oh really? I'd like to know, Quinn, what issues you might have had, because all of ours have always had a long payload string. We've really never had any issues so far. Yeah, I can't say that we have had any. I don't know of any issues that centered around the payload string. So how wide will the balloon stretch before it bursts? So this balloon is rated to stretch to 37 feet in diameter, so 37 feet across. That's huge. It's about 6 feet across here on the ground, so 6 feet here on the ground. It'll be about 37 feet, give or take, when it actually breaks at 110, 112,000 feet up. So let's see. This is great. Yeah, where's the drone? The drone's down now. I know Jeff, he was the drone controller. He did get some footage, I'm sure. I don't even know where it was when we actually launched it, because I was so focused on the balloon there. Yeah, I'm sure we will get that information. Oh, hey, here we go. We're getting automated positioning reports from my automated system. Yeah, all right, and just make sure that that's actually working. Yeah, all right, it is working. Fantastic. Okay, hopefully this tweets out automatically too. That's another new thing that we set up that I'm kind of testing for today. We should get some automatic Twitter updates from the balloon. That'd be kind of cool. So follow Overlook Horizon on Twitter, twitter.com/OLHZN, and you can actually get live updates on Twitter from the balloon itself. So here, I don't know if you can see that. It should be black text, but there's that up there. Because we are going to pack up pretty quickly here. We're going to pack up kind of quickly so that we can get chasing, because it is going a bit of a distance today, and so we're going to have to chase it down. So we do have to leave. We still got about 40 minutes or so before we have to get on the road, but also have to pack up all the equipment. Yeah, let me get the oh, that doesn't look good. Get rid of the shadow there. So anyway, all right, so you also have to excuse me for a minute, because we had that confusion with the FAA. So now I need to the guy that called me, I need to forward him the email that I had sent everybody. Let me get his email. Sorry, I'm trying to type an email and live broadcast at the same time, but I do want to make sure that the FAA gets our stuff. So there we go. There, I just sent that off. Make sure he's got that. Okay. So let's see. I missed a couple comments here. 11. Oh, Sevi time waster. It's 11.27 meters. Thank you for the metric conversion. Yeah, it's big, very big. What's the usual ascent time? So today's flight, it can range quite a bit. So our last flight was only an hour and 15 minutes total. This flight is going to ascend for 2 hours and 10 or 15 minutes, somewhere in that range. So we're going to be going up for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then it comes down in a hurry. It comes down in about 40 minutes. Is when it should be a little bit less than that, like 38, 39 minutes. So yeah, we're looking at total. We're talking 2 hour, 45 minute, 2 hour, 50 minute flight. So case 1320, do you have onboard video? Yes, we do have onboard video. We do not, it's not live video. I would love to do that someday. But yeah, we don't have live video. So here, if Gregorius is still watching, Gregorius, I just made you a moderator here. So thanks for the help there. Let's see, 118 minutes is what he, yeah, should be. Ascent time, I think, should be longer than that. I think last I checked, it was 131 minutes for the ascent time. Do we get on the road up to the minute reporting? Hashtag Space Lobster. We will do so. Kind of the plan and what we generally do for these flights is we're going to get on the road here shortly. And let me turn these radios off here. We're going to get on the road shortly to get on the chase here. And then I'll post some updates on Twitter. There should be automatic updates on Twitter. I haven't checked my Twitter account, but should automatically post some updates. But I will do another live broadcast. A lot of times I do it Facebook only, but I think I'm going to go YouTube only this time. Since I was down at NASA last week, I figured out kind of the best way to do a YouTube live from my phone, and it was pretty reliable. So I think I'm going to try that again today. So keep an eye on our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. If you've got a, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and then when we go live, which should be for the recovery efforts, usually what I like to do is try to go live at balloon burst or right around there, and then we'll be live for about 45 minutes while we try to figure out where it is. That's assuming that the tracking works well during the entire flight. So
we're tracking right on your prediction right now.
Yeah, so far we're right on track here.
Following exactly.
Let's see. Let's finish. I'm watching the tracking. Sorry, I'm geek with this stuff. I know, that's how I got into it too. It's super, like, I love it. I can't get enough of it. Just making, like, I mean, it's a lot of similarities to rocket launches, which is kind of how the tie-in for when I went to NASA last week. Because when a rocket launches, you can't push the undo button. Same thing with our balloon. As soon as I let that thing go, it's got to work. Because if it doesn't, we're in trouble. So anyways, we're off and running here, and so far predictions are following exactly what they're supposed to. Both trackers are working. I got two tracking systems. Both balloons are updating. They're following along. That's fantastic. Let's see if my automatic Twitter update machine is actually tweeting our automatic updates. Hopefully it is. Oh, it did. So awesome. So we are getting. Yeah, look at that. It's a liftoff. We got, yeah, all right. It's our automatic Twitter thing is happening. It's working. How about that? I have yet to test that with an actual, well, we tried to test it on Overlook Horizon 10, but I'm sure everybody that yells at me with a metric imperial measurements will get a kick out of this, but my software is in metric, but I was doing all the when to do the Twitter updates in imperial measurements. So I was saying, like, do the first update at 10,000 feet, do the next one at 50,000 feet. Well, my software was thinking that that was meters, so it was trying to do the first update at 10,000 meters and then 50,000 meters. Well, only did one update because we didn't hit 50,000 meters. So anyways, we're in good shape. We will do another broadcast. Follow the subscribe to the YouTube channel. Overlook. Oh, it's not even on my little social media things. Well, we do have I gotta make it on my social media thing. I can't do it. I don't think I could do that on the fly. But if you follow us on Twitter, I'm sure we'll post some updates, and then we will also we're gonna do that live video on YouTube. Probably, let's see, balloon burst should be at about. Let me think about. It should be right around 5 o'clock. Should be our balloon burst. So I think maybe 4:50, 5 o'clock. So keep an eye out on our YouTube channel around 4:50, 5 o'clock. And that's when we should be live again on YouTube for the update as to what's happening. And then hopefully, if all goes well, then hopefully you can follow the whole thing right down to the ground. And we'll see if we'll see how tough it is to pick this thing up here. Why can't I update this text color here? Okay, it's not going to let me do it. So, anyways, that is. Oh, we already. I don't know what I did here. There we go. Sorry, we'll work out these kinks for the next time. Let's see. Wow, dead on prediction. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Mike is maybe, hopefully, I think he's gonna join us on the recovery because it's heading right down to Mike's territory there. Let's see. Both payloads connected to the same battery, or each separate power sources. So the two payloads, they're designed like we don't normally intend to put this micro payload on this flight. So it's on this flight as a test, so it can fly on its own. So I'm basically simulating it flying on its own flight. It's outside our regular payload box, hanging below the payload box like it would on a regular flight without the box. So it's got its own power source, completely isolated from the main computer system, so it's also good for redundancy. But yeah, they're complete separate batteries, completely separate systems. So if you're following the map at overlookhorizon.com/map, the -12 is the micro payload. The -11 is the main large computer system. So, what was the specific reason to launch the balloon today? Mostly for fun. I don't know. I'm just kidding. We're the big reason is the upper atmosphere winds. So it's really hard to launch weather balloons in the Finger Lakes because we got so many Finger Lakes. We got Finger Lakes, we got woods, we got state forests. It's so hard to try to get an actual landing space. You know, not like if you were launching out in Kansas or something like that, where you just got open fields everywhere. We got so many trees and population and Finger Lakes and woods, and it's like it's very hard to find a day, especially this time of year, when we can actually launch and have a safe recovery area that's not either dangerous to our payload or dangerous to other people. So we try to make sure that we launch on a day that's safe for the equipment, safe for the people. And so the main reason for today is that those upper level winds for our prediction that we ran, which if you missed the beginning, here's what the prediction looks like. This is what we're expecting the flight to take, and we're pretty much right on the money here so far for this prediction. So the flight, there's this little area. Let's see, I guess it's this way, like right up in here to the west of Cortland. That's pretty good, a pretty good landing spot. A lot of fields there, not a lot of population there, and it still has good coverage for our radio reception system. So that's a good landing spot. If it's closer to home, like in the summertime, we can get really calm winds. In the summertime, we can launch and have it only go. Our record is 5 miles. Is the shortest recovery distance. So in the summertime, we can get really short recovery distance, and that's fantastic. But here in the springtime, much more difficult to do that. So yeah, all these can go off and just go right in the plastic bins in there. So hey, no, we're still live here. We're still going for a couple more minutes. So we are. It's is our new helper here. We got some spectators here hanging out with us today, which is pretty awesome. I'm gonna end this broadcast here as soon as I get done, so I can actually chat with them and say hi. Let's see. Oh, outside the payload, negative 14 degrees already. Yeah, that is fantastic. We're still getting. Let me see. I don't even have the tracking up here. There we go. Let's get this. Yeah, I'm reading negative 27 on one of the trackers. That's Fahrenheit. And the other tracker is reading negative 22. So yeah, we're getting down there. Humidity's at 7%, so we should be well above. We should be into that dry air here now. The internal in the box is still 55 degrees. So even though it's negative 22 Fahrenheit outside, that payload box insulates pretty well. Still 55 degrees inside there. So, let's see. Are you going to land it on a bouncy house? Yeah. Elon Musk donated his bouncy house to us for the day, so we can land it on there. No bouncy house today. With any luck, we're going to land in a nice open field, right? Everybody think positive thoughts that we land in an open field. So, where is the craziest place you had to recover from, or does it usually end up in ideal locations? No, it does not. It does not always end up in ideal locations.
Let me answer that.
Yeah.
The swamp.
The swamp. Yeah. You didn't have to.
The worst.
You didn't have to go in the swamp.
I know, but it was bad.
Yeah, during the solar eclipse, Overlook Horizon 9, we landed in the swamp. That was bad. Yeah, that was not fun. On Overlook Horizon 5, we landed on high voltage power lines. We had to get help from the power company to actually get it down because we didn't actually land. We still had 20 feet to go. And that fried all our cameras and the circuit board. So that wasn't good. So yeah, those are probably the two worst, but we've had a lot of fields. We've had some trees. We got pretty lucky on Flight 7, which landed in the Romulus Army Depot, which is decommissioned. It's an old decommissioned army site where they kept ammunitions and bombs and all kinds of stuff like that. But there are still areas of that are restricted and you can't get into. There's like a double fence, and our payload landed inside the first fence, but not inside the second fence. So we could actually, we got the fire department actually let us in and we could get in there. But the guy was like, yeah, if you were on the other side of this fence, which was the second one, he's like, nobody gets in there. So we got pretty lucky on that one. We were only about maybe 100 yards away from that second fence there. How much time does it take for the team to get prepared for the flights? Well, flight day, I'm usually here about 4 hours early, setting everything up, like the tents and all the kind of stuff here. And we do some prep right before, or the couple days leading up to it. Most of the time I make like an intro video, but I ran out of time this time, so I didn't get a chance to make the intro video. I made one while I was here, which is kind of I don't know, it was a little bit hacky, but it worked. So yeah, it's about 4 hours prior to launch on flight day for me, and then the team gets here about hour and a half right before we go live. The rest of the team gets here, so because it's really, I just get the tent up and everything else. So yeah, Gregorius, always love to hear the war stories. Yeah, I know, we got some. Hopefully today we don't have any war stories. So. All right, so I see we've got pretty much everything packed up. We got to get on the road here and get going. I'm sorry for the Facebook people, because my Facebook app to see all your comments was just not working. So hopefully excuse me if you were watching on Facebook. All these comments were on the YouTube page. And see that.
Your comments was just
let's see. Oh, I do see a couple here. Let's see. So far, you're nicely following the predicted path, says Mike. Yeah, so far so good. Both trackers are showing. We did not find the last payload. Morris says, have a great launch. Thanks, Morris. And you're not concerned about some of the wind gusts today. The only concern that I had for wind gusts was just getting it launched. Once it's in the air, the balloon does fine. So that's the balloon is no problem once it's in the air. It's just getting it off the ground is the problem. Because that's where it cuts my fingers, trying to control it so I can have a graceful launch. So, what's the climbing speed? Is that 17 meters per? It should. I have not checked the actual climbing speed, but it should be between 4 and 5 meters per second for the ascent rate. So 17 would be really fast. So usually we try to go for about 4 to 4.5 meters per second. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's what we aim for, is between 4 and 4.5. And sometimes we play with that. Usually 4 is the lowest we go. Sometimes we go up to 6. That's one of the ways that we can control the landing spots, is by changing the ascent rate. Because if you go up faster, the balloon will break sooner and come down sooner. If you go up slower, the balloon will break later and come down later. So we can control the landing spot a little bit with the ascent rate. So there's a couple things that are in our control to control the landing zone. It's the ascent rate, the balloon size, and the parachute size, really. Those are the 3 things that we can control when we want to launch. So bigger parachute, it'll drift longer. Smaller parachute comes down in a hurry. You can only go so small because you don't want to be dangerous. Usually we aim for about 10 or 11 miles per hour on the landing. And then what was the other thing? Oh, balloon size. We're 1,500 grams today. That's the biggest one in our arsenal. So we can go smaller, which makes it burst sooner as well. So. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up here. I got some guests here that I do want to say hello to. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me here today. So we're going to wrap up. Keep an eye out on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/OLHZN. Keep an eye out there for our live broadcast for right around balloon burst, because that will be right around 5 o'clock. We might go live a little bit sooner than that. But somewhere around 5 o'clock is when I expect to go live on our YouTube channel. That's 5 o'clock Eastern time. That would be, what is that, 2100 UTC? Is that right? Did I do that math right? So that's the plan. Last question here. Craig, have you ever had to cancel a launch at last minute? The closest we've come to canceling last minute was like the night before we had to cancel. We had an issue with electronics. We've had some delays for electronics at the launch site, but we've always launched the same day. And we've also had we've had a balloon break in the middle of filling it, but luckily we always keep extra helium and an extra balloon. So yeah, Jason, get those Cub Scouts to launch their own here. You reach out to us, we can help you out and let you know how you can get it done for us. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Check us out here, youtube.com/OLHZN. We'll be live right around 5 o'clock Eastern, 2100 UTC. We'll see you guys all soon. Hopefully we have a successful flight here today. Thanks for hanging out so far, and we'll see you in about an hour and a half. Thanks guys, talk to you soon. See ya.